Today I have got 10 ways that I think you can best utilise your SLSO. Hi there everyone, I'm Aide Kafooples. You're welcome to Kafoople Land. This is my channel where I teach you how to teach well, live well and be well. Today's video is a collaboration with Beck from Talkin'Chalk, and she is a very experienced primary school teacher. She's got the role of assistant principal at the moment in her school in Sydney, and if you don't know her channel you should definitely go and check it out because it's awesome. It's packed full of great tips and information. I will link her channel underneath this video, so make sure that you go and subscribe to her channel. We thought that we'd do a collaboration about how you can best utilise your SLSO. I'm a high school teacher, Beck is a primary school teacher, so you've got to get two different perspectives on how SLSOs can be used in your classroom. So today I have got 10 ways that I think you can best utilise your SLSO. I teach in New South Wales, and here we call our assistants SLSOs, and I know that in other places they might be called teacher aides or teaching assistants or educational assistants or paraprofessionals. So every time you hear me say SLSO, I'm talking about your teaching assistant. I'm a high school English teacher working on the beautiful mid-North Coast of New South Wales. I'm also the learning support coordinator at my school, which means that I'm actually in charge of the 5 mainstream SLSOs that we have at our school. I'm very proud of them. I think they do a fabulous job, and so I'm super excited about this video because I often feel that high school teachers don't utilise their SLSOs as best as they can. My first tip is to think about how you can work as a team with your SLSO so that your students' learning is impacted in the best, most positive way possible. And I think as high school teachers we're often so busy that we don't pause to think about how we can best utilise these wonderful people with this very specialised skill set. So really take that time to think about how you can work as a team. The second way is for you to share with your SLSO your expectations and procedures so that they can be in line with your classroom culture that you're trying to develop. And I actually happen to have a video which I created very recently about how to create a positive classroom culture, and I'll link that up here if you want to go and check that out a little bit later. Ideally, if you can do this outside of class time, it's really great, but oftentimes in a high school setting that can't happen. So even at the start of the class is a good moment to tell the SLSO what your expectations are, especially if it's your first time working with them. The third thing is to communicate, and ideally again this is best done outside of class time, but that can't always happen. If you are able to carve out some time, I think it's great to communicate before the class and after the class so that you can do a debrief afterwards before the class so that you can tell them what is happening in your classroom that day, what you want them to do. And this can be done in class, like as soon as they walk in, my SLSOs always go up to the teacher and say, what would you like me to do today? How can I help you today? And that's your opportunity to tell them, take the lead. I actually interviewed some of my SLSOs before making this video, and I said, what do you want the teachers to do? And the thing that came through time and time again was take the lead and communicate and tell us what you want us to do. So if your SLSO is a little bit shy or hasn't come up to you and said, what would you like me to do today? Take the lead and communicate with them. The fourth way is to provide them with the resources that they need. I give them the same resources that I give my students. So I give them a copy of the handout, I give them a copy of the answer sheet. I don't give that to my students, but that's, I give them a copy of what I've got. And also a good idea is, and this is a suggestion from one of my SLSOs that I interviewed, add them to your Google Classroom, because that way when they're off class, when they're not with you and they want to help the student, they can log on and see what's happening in class. Because the thing in high school is you're not going to get the same SLSO every lesson. You're not going to get an SLSO every lesson, so there will be gaps. So if the SLSO can access your Google Classroom, they can really help the students by knowing the flow of the lesson sequence, by knowing what's happened when they weren't there, and by helping the student fill in the gaps. The fifth way is to take the lead. A lot of teachers do feel a little bit self-conscious, especially high school teachers, when someone else comes into your classroom, another adult, because we're not used to having a lot of other adults around us when we're working, and so you can sort of sometimes feel a little bit unsure and self-conscious, like I said. So be confident, take the lead and communicate with them. And not only just at the start of the lesson, throughout the lesson give the teacher's aide or the SLSO guidance as to what you would like them to do. You are the teacher, you are in charge, take the lead, they want your direction and they want to work with you. Number 6 is to communicate which students need support or that you want supported in that lesson and how you want them to do that. There is no point in an SLSO being employed standing at the back of the room, not knowing who to help, not knowing where to go, and because you're in charge of the room, you can direct them to the correct students. Allow them to be your right-hand man or right-hand woman. We are so used to running our own show as high school teachers especially that when someone else comes in, we kind of like either ignore them or don't utilise them to the best, or we just, I don't know, treat them as another student. Don't do that. Allow them to do the things that you are unable to do because of the time constraints, because of everything that happens in the classroom. So give them the instructions that I talked about earlier and let go a little bit and let them do the tasks that it is hard for you to do. And remember, we always have the objective of students learning comes first. So all of the things, all of the tasks should lead towards or should feed into student learning. Number 8 is use them to reinforce your teaching. They're not qualified teachers, but they are highly skilled and they have a very specialised skill set. They can definitely reinforce what you have taught. You can do this by getting them to lead a small group within your class or outside with drawing. You can use them to help to give one-on-one explanations to reinforce what you've taught. You can use them to chunk tasks. You can work as a team with your SLSO, your last, and yourself to help to create some modified tasks for these students. The other thing that they can do is to ensure that students are on task. Sometimes at the front of the room, we don't always see what's going on and the dynamics that are happening when we're teaching from the front, and so they have a different angle and they can see and hear things that we sometimes just miss. So allow them that space to do that. Number 9 is let go of menial tasks. We are so busy, and if you have an SLSO, if you are blessed and lucky enough to have an SLSO, let them do the menial tasks for you. So things like gluing, cutting, organising, collating, some of your preparation that's hands-on preparation, collecting resources, all of those things the SLSO can do for you. And number 10 is you can utilise them while you're directly teaching as well. Have them come up beside you while you're directly teaching, give them a whiteboard marker and get them to write down some of the key words that you are using as you are directly teaching. Be sure to give them the direction though that they might need, because remember, they're not a qualified teacher, but anything that they can do to support your teaching is going to benefit the students. I have a bonus tip for you. It's kind of like number 11, I guess, and that is always thank your SLSO. SLSOs go above and beyond. They really care about the kids. They really want the kids to learn and to succeed and to grow and develop. And just to show you their appreciation of them goes a long way. In New South Wales, we have SAS Appreciation Week coming up, and so I have made some cute little notes that you might like to give to your SLSO and your other SAS staff. I'm going to link it underneath here, but I'll just show you a couple of little ones here. I've made them into like a page size. You can cut them into 4 and use whatever ones that you prefer. Print them out onto paper, print them out onto cardstock, and put it on their desk, put it in their pigeonhole. It's just really nice to be appreciated. Maybe give them a little chocolate to go with it. I don't know. It's the little things that go a long way, and I know that I really appreciate my SLSOs. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Do yourself a favour and subscribe to this channel, because here is where we learn to teach well, live well, and be well. I'll see you in the next video. Today I want to talk about how you can best utilise your write down some of the key